Cakey foundation? Is it really your makeup's fault, or is it something that you're not doing or maybe even don't know about? I'm here with some pro tips to help break down why your foundation isn't working for you the way it should. Hi, I'm Jeannie. I'm a pro makeup artist. I work with celebrities, beauty brands, and everyone in between. Welcome to my channel. Tip number 1, exfoliation. One of the reasons why your foundation isn't performing the way that it should is because if the skin is dry and there's any texture on it, the foundation is going to stick to that. We want to get rid of anything that is creating that problematic texture. My preferred method is chemical exfoliation, mostly with lactic acid. Lactic acid is an AHA, which is an alpha hydroxy acid. It helps to brighten, smooth, and help even out skin tone. It also helps to pull hydration into the skin, which is great for someone like me who is on the more normal to dry side. I also prefer to do my exfoliation treatments at night, and that's mostly just because I like to follow it up with a nice hydrating moisturizer and then sleep on it. As far as lactic acid treatments, there are a few different types that you can choose from. It's just personal preference. I have a few here that I'm going to show you. The first treatment I'm going to show you is the Alpenbeauty Radiance Recovery Peel. This has an 8 acid complex in it, so it's going to gently exfoliate. It also has wild huckleberry in it, which is good for brightening, and it has chamomile and colloidal oatmeal, which is very soothing. It is said that you can use this every night, but my preferred method of using any kind of lactic acid treatment in my regimen is usually like 3 to 4 times a week. And that really just depends on the strength of what I'm using and how often I'm using it. Something a little bit on the stronger side is the Bigger Than Beauty Overnight Sensation. This has alpha hydroxy acids and beta hydroxy acids in it, so AHAs and BHAs. This is meant to go on clean skin at the end of the night before you do any kind of moisturizing, and it's recommended to use by itself because it's very, very active. Whenever I use this, it's usually maybe about once a week because of how strong it is. And now onto my personal favorites, which are exfoliating toners. These are 2 of my favorites in my personal stash, and they both have lactic acid in them. This one is the Ready Steady Glow from Ren Skincare. This has willow bark, azelaic acid, and lactic acid in it. I also like it because I can actually see any kind of exfoliation that's coming off on the cotton pad. And when I use this at night, I wake up with the most gorgeous glow ever. My other favorite in my personal stash is the Freck Cactus Water. I had heard that this has like a cult following, and I definitely understand why, because they call it a cleansing toner, which I don't really personally like to use toners as cleansers. I like to make sure that my skin is completely clean before I go in with my toner, so then it's not doing 2 jobs instead of 1. I want it to do the exfoliating for me, I want it to do the anti-aging for me, and I want to make sure that my skin is clean when it does that. But I do like the philosophy behind this. I love the finish that this gives. It's the same as the Ren toner in the sense that I wake up really glowy and my skin looks amazing. Another thing I like to do is face shaving. I just did a short video on this. I'll link it down below. Not only does it exfoliate and remove any dead skin or peach fuzz, but it helps to smooth the skin on the face to help ensure that the foundation will lay smoothly on top of it. Remember, if you are going to shave your face with one of these facial razors, make sure to do it very slowly and very carefully on clean, dry skin. Second tip, prepping the skin. Not only is it important to exfoliate the skin properly, but skin prep is key. If you don't prep the skin properly, you are already fighting a losing battle. Trust me. As always, you want to start with clean, dry skin. Second step, my ride or die setting spray. This really does help anything that you put on top of it absorb into the skin better. I noticed a huge difference in the longevity of my makeup when I started prepping my skin with setting spray. Any drugstore or high-end setting spray will do. Just pick your favorite. This one is the Hourglass Soft Focus. I have it next to me on my makeup table, and I love using it every day. Something that I use every day in my AM routine and usually for my makeup routine is vitamin C. This is from East 29th. It's a small company out of Canada. It's created by a makeup artist. It's clean. It's a really, really beautiful vitamin C, and I've been using it for the last couple of months, and I really love it. Now we're moving on to moisturizer. You want to make sure that you are prepping your skin with a moisturizer that is suitable for your skin type. These are some of the ones that I have in my pro kit for different skin types. The first one I'm going to show you is the Make Beauty Succulent Skin Gel Cream. This is ideal for combination to oily skin types. It's plumping and very hydrating, but it doesn't leave any of that residue that other more emollient moisturizers can leave. Even oily skin needs hydration, and I have this in my kit because it does what it needs to do without creating more oil. This next moisturizer is the one that's my current favorite for skin prep, the one that I reach for the most at the moment. It's the Alpenbeauty Plant Genius Melt Moisturizer. This plumps, hydrates, sinks into the skin so beautifully, and smells absolutely heavenly. This looks gorgeous under makeup, and it's just, it works. It works for normal, dry, some combination skin types. It just depends on how oily that combination skin is, but highly recommend. This next moisturizer is a little bit more high end, but it's in my kit for a reason, and it's because it works. It has a cult following. I did not believe the hype until I tried it, and now I am completely sold. It is the Sisley Black Rose Skin Infusion Cream. Much like the Alpen Beauty one, it smells absolutely heavenly, and it plumps and hydrates, but it also gives the skin this gorgeous radiance. It must be the black rose in it or some kind of other magical ingredient in it. I know that when I use this, my clients love it, and it just preps the skin so beautifully. At this point, I would say if you have any kind of eye cream that you want to use, go ahead and use it, and then your skin prep is pretty much done. My third tip, light layers. Please do not place the foundation directly from the product onto your skin. It is a waste of product, and it will ensure that you are using way too much. You do not need as much foundation as you think you do. Foundation is mostly meant to even out the skin and correct as much discoloration as possible. That way, when you go in with concealer, you're using less product and correcting only what needs to be corrected. To ensure that this doesn't happen, I recommend to work off the back of your hand or a palette. I use mostly brushes, but sometimes I use a beauty blender or a puff to press the product into the skin if I feel like I'm not getting the kind of finish that I want with a brush. Sometimes I even use my fingers. It's mostly the application and how much you use that matters. For this tutorial, I wanted to use a base or a foundation that was a little bit on the heavier side, so I chose the IT Cosmetics CC Cream, which is a color corrector. It has a heavier texture, so I wanted to show you how to use something that has a bit of a heavier texture and apply it in a light way. I'm literally going to do just a pump. That's it. That's where we're going to start. When applying complexion, I prefer to use synthetic brushes. I pulled this Ilia complexion brush out of my kit. It's going to take a little bit of the foundation on the brush. I haven't even used all of it, as you can see. And we're just going to go in and start gently buffing using a really thin layer of product. Grab a little bit more. I'm not even grabbing all of it. I still have a bunch of it left on my hand. And I like to work in the areas that need the most coverage and work my way out from there. For me, that's my nose and my chin. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to use the foundation and no concealer just to show you how I would set it. So this is one thin layer of the foundation. As you can see, because it has color correcting properties in it, it pretty much evened out my skin tone, and I don't really need concealer. Trust me, less is more in so many cases. If I did have some problematic areas, I would go in with concealer, but for the sake of this tutorial, I just want to show you how I would set with just foundation. I'm just going to set everything with a powder. This is the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder on a brush. Just taking and setting it all over, just very lightly. Those are just some of my tips for flawless foundation. I hope they help. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more makeup tips from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.